So they say there are no atheists in a foxhole, and Emily Compagno's new book proves it. It's called Under His Wings: How Faith on the Front Lines Has Protected American Troops. It reminds us in this week of Thanksgiving that even before we give thanks to all the benefits of living in the USA, we must always give thanks to a higher authority, as I used to say in a commercial. She joins us now to talk about it all. Emily Compagno, co-host, by the way, of Outnumbered. It is a great book. Congratulations on it. What gave you the idea of doing it?
Gosh, you know, a few reasons. You and I have talked extensively about the proud members of our family who have served and how proud we are of them. I come from a strong military family, back generations, World War I and II, and all different countries, student in land resistance and more. And my mother's a family historian, so I have all of those photographs and stories and records. As an NFL cheerleader, I had the honor of visiting the troops in Iraq on a USO tour and had some really incredible experiences there during and afterward, which I talk about here. And then the true and simple, amazing stories of these intimate, deeply connective stories that soldiers have had on the front lines. And I've had the honor of serving as a messenger for the warfighters within, their voices within, of their experiences with God and faith in battle.
And, you know, sometimes people talk openly about it. Many times they don't. A lot of people are private about it. So you kind of have to pry the information out of them about it. But sometimes they have to do it in secret. You talk about one guy named Charlie Plumb, who was a Vietnam-era pilot. I think he was one of the Top Gun pilots. I mean, he was the best of the best, shot down over Hanoi, went through some really hard years of captivity, learned in secret to secretly connect with the people living in the cells next to him, how to communicate and pray in secret. I mean, it's extraordinary, the links to which, and he had to kind of be talked into it, again, by kind of Morse code, right?
Yes, and this Morse code, as it tapped out what he called the mantra, the mission, which was, keep the faith, baby. And it's exactly that, David, that there is no way you can go through years of brutal torture, of solitary confinement, of the hell they endured without faith. And his stories of Christmas, of celebrating Christmas in captivity, that what communion looks like in captivity in a country where religion was being persecuted. And to your point about being secret about it or perhaps not so open, I had the honor of some operators telling me, I've never shared this story before, but I trust you, Emily, to carry it accurately and adequately here, and I will carry that honor to the
Emily, I got to tell you, my son was in 2 wars. My wife was praying all the time. She actually has a devotion to Our Lady, and she claims that she gives Our Lady credit for his coming back without physical injuries, but I still haven't talked to him about it. I mean, he still holds the stuff. I mean, my own son. So it's terribly hard, but the role that prayer plays with families is also extraordinarily important. This guy, Charlie Plumb, his family got directly involved in prayer with him too.
Absolutely. The wife of Colonel Tomo, also a Vietnam prisoner of war, who lobbied the American government to keep these men front and center so that they could be returned home. And your point about the front lines and prayers, you know, the front line can be home, because spouses deal with catastrophically wounded spouses. Yes. Mothers deal with the grief of the ultimate sacrifice. Spouses with PTS that their husbands come home with, or wives, etc. That's all in
Addiction.
here too. That's right. That's right. And I pray that your son loves the book.
And nothing cures addiction as well, as long as it's a natural process. If God is a part of that recovery process, you have much more chances of success than if he's not. By the way, Cardinal Dolan, who I know you know and love as I do, he was on with Larry last week talking about Thanksgiving. I just want to play a little soundbite as a final note and get your response. Roll it.
Our founders put freedom of religion in the first of the 10 amendments to the Bill of Rights. I mean, what makes this nation great is the vitality of religion, the freedom of religion, and that religion has a cherished place in the public square. Unfortunately, there's some movements on that would want to deter that would want to diminish that, and we can't let that happen. That's a freedom that deserves strong defense and constant vigilance.
So is faith on a downward trend, or is there a renaissance of which your book is a part?
I believe there is an absolute renaissance, and His Eminence is totally correct that indeed the separation of church and state was written ad hoc in a letter outside of the presidential office to ensure the government didn't encroach upon those freedoms to worship
Not
and
part
the
of the
church.
Constitution,
That's right.
et cetera.
That's right.
My wife is always pointing that out.
That's right. And I do believe that faith is that people are now feeling free to worship again, to worship outrightly, to proclaim their faith in Jesus. And that with this and books like this, they feel that encouragement to do so together in the public square with the knowledge they are never alone because God is always with them.
Although you got to pray for those people that are oppressed. There's the Nigerian 60,000 Nigerian Christians have been martyred over the past 20 years. 60,000, and the church is being burned. There are a lot of problems, but again, this book is one of the hopeful signs. Under His Wings is the name of Emily's book. Great to see you, Emily.
Thank you so much
Happy
for this.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
So grateful.
And folks, if you haven't seen it already, check out Fox Nation's new series, Martin Scorsese Presents The Saints. Stream new episodes every Sunday through December 8th, exclusively on Fox Nation.